Hey guys, what's up, Kardaka here, and today I'm here with another Digimon deck profile. Today we'll be doing a Beelstarmon Beelzemon Blast Mode deck profile. So this is kind of a funky deck. It's very fun to play, but it's very RNG based, much like the other Musketeer deck that I profiled before. But without further ado, let's get right into the deck profile. First off, let's go on with the Digitamas first. So for the level 2s, we were running 4 Chibi Meramons. Just when you die, you get to draw 1 and then discard 1. So very useful for this deck. We're going to teach you how to. I'm going to teach you how you guys are going to dump your hand into your trash a bit later. So for the level 6s, we are going to be running 4 of the Beelstarmons. You know, one day I was just feeling like a simp, so I decided to buy 3 more copies of the Alt Art Beelstarmon. And so here we are with this deck. Overall, she's pretty good. You can play a 7 cost for free when she's unplayed, and the cost reduction is based on how many 3 Musketeers and 7 cost options you have in your trash. So this deck is kind of just trying to help you turbo your trash with options so that you can have a lot of different options, no pun intended, to use when you play her out. And we're trying to make her come out as cheap as possible. So next we are running 2 of the regular Beelzemon from BT2. So it's here. So you can play it, Warp Digivolve it on top of an Impmon for 4 cost if you have 10 more cards in your trash, which is very easy in this deck. And on evolution, you can pop a level 4 or lower Digimon. So he's pretty good. Just a little bit of extra control you have in your lineup. Next, we're running the 1 Beelzemon Blast Mode. Mainly this is just here so you can do your cheeky little Digivolve with your Tamer. And you can also, when it's milled, you can pop a level 4 or lower. You don't really need too many of this card. Honestly, you can not run them at all. I just like to run them for that time when it is a little bit necessary to go into a level 7 to just either do a pop or to do an attack with a extra security check. So yeah, we're running the 1 Blast Mode. So you're going to see in this deck there's a lot of one-offs, just because there's so many ways you can retrieve your cards in this deck, so running one-offs is definitely very reasonable. But one of the core cards in the deck is the Izemon Scatter Mode. So on deletion you can draw 3. Most of the time you're going to Digivolve this on top of a Gabumon so that you can crash with this, and then get your draws and then get your discards so that you can set up your trash. Very similar to how a Lilithmon deck would pile their trash. Next, we are running 3 Dobermon. So this is one of the new cards that we got in EX02. On deletion, you can mill the top 3 cards of your deck and then grab a purple Tamer or a Digimon and add it back to your hand. So this is very good because in case you mill your Tamers, you can still retrieve it with this. This is kind of the only ways you can retrieve. So running that. The mill is also very nice to help you turbo your trash. So overall, just a very good card. I kind of like the Izemon more because you get to draw 3 and then discard the 2 cards, most likely going to be options. And where you only get to draw 1 with the Dobermon, but both of them are pretty good. I also like the Izemon because you can hard cast it for 4, which is quite nice. Next, we are running 2 of the Evilmons, or the Vilemons. So this is here for a blocker. This deck kind of needs it. I was running this deck without blockers and I just got destroyed by Armor Rush. So the blockers will definitely help with that. Yeah, Armor Rush is definitely not a pretty good matchup against this deck because this deck doesn't have any cards that have DP deduction. And the pops will just keep their Digimons on the board. So the blocker is kind of the best way to deal with that. And this deck is kind of grindy anyway, so you want to last until your trash has a lot of option cards so that you can abuse your Beelstarmons. So yeah. Next we're running 1 of the Ginkamon. So this is just here for the rush. You want to use it with Nailbone. Pretty self-explanatory. 1 is enough. You can't play 2 level 4s with Nailbone anyway, so having that one in the option is pretty good for the last hits. Next, for the level 3s, we are running 4 Gabumon. This is on deletion, you're going to draw 2, discard 1. So obviously the best friend is the Izemon scatter mode. So you can draw 5 and discard 4. Very, very good. Next, we're running 3 of the BT6 Impmon. This helps you retrieve your Beelstarmon from your trash in case you mill it. And you can also warp your Beelzemon on top of that. So, pretty good card overall. I was running 4 before, but honestly, he's not that useful. I decided to cut one of them out for the Impmon from BT2 instead, so that I can speed up your mills again. Very good. Before this Impmon, I was running the EX02 Impmon. I like this Impmon more because it's less conditional. This one, if you mill it from your effects, he's pretty good. But in events that you just Digivolve from your raising area, I think having this Impmon is a little bit better. But it's up to you guys. I'll talk about the other options that we can run instead a bit later. So next we are running 3 I and Mako. So this is just here to help you do your memory reset, and on every attack, or on an attack per turn, you can just tap it and then you can do an extra mill. So that's pretty good for that. And if you have Beelzemon, you can Digivolve into Blast Mode from your trash, which is also pretty good. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Next for the options, so I gotta make room for this because there's a lot of options. So we're playing some 1-cost options. We're running the Call to Darkness. So this helps you pop one of your Digimons, and then you can grab 2 Digimons from your trash back to your hand. This card is really, really good because in the events that you attack with your Izemon and it doesn't die, you still have a way to manually pop it, because you really, really need to pop your Izemon in order for this deck to kind of keep going. Next, running 4 Mist Memory Boost. Helps you mill 2, draw 1, and it also has the delay skill to give you 2 memory. So, pretty self-explanatory for that. Next, we are running 4 Bullets Fly. This is one of the better option cards that we have in the deck. Pretty much pops every Digimon except for level 7s. But if your opponent's playing level 7s, we have other ways to get rid of it. We have Trump Sword. Helps you get rid of level 7s as long as they're suspended. So if it's not suspended, then, well, we're boned. Just kidding, we have other ways to get rid of it. Mainly just by using our Blast Mode. But if they Digivolve into the level 7 and it passes to your turn, then you can just get rid of it with Trump Sword. So it's not bad. Also, these are the kind of the best cards that you can hit into in your security. This card is really, really good against Impaledramon decks, as well as this card. But yeah. Next, we're running 3 Nailbone. This card is just really good. It just helps you set up your board for next turn. And if your opponent's trying to grind you out, you just keep spamming Nailbones so that you can keep playing Digimon. 2 Digimon per turn, and then you're eventually going to overwhelm them with your board. Next, we're running 2 Happy Bullet Shower. This is just here to help you do some board wipes if your opponent's playing Rush. This just pops everything with the lowest DP. Well, so if your opponent has kind of big Digimons on the board, you can wipe them with this as well. Overall, I think you can cut this out one from one more Trump Sword if you want, but I kind of like these. Yeah. And last but not least, we're running the 1 Gundramon option card. It just pops everything 7 cost or less, but it doesn't have a security, or the security skill is, it adds it to your hand, doesn't activate the main skill, so that's kind of not good. But having 1 is very good in events that your opponent's building up a board and you just want to get rid of it. Just go nope, just get rid of their Digimon. So yeah, these ones you can't play these unless you have Beelstarmon on the board. So these are kind of, but most of the time these are just going to be discarded from your hand so that you can reduce the cost for Beelstarmon. Next, some options. So these are the only two kind of options that I want to run over some of the other cards I'm running in this deck. So Darkness Wave, I was running 2 before, but it's not that good of a card because you don't get any advantage from it. But milling 3 is pretty good. I would run this if you are running the EX02 Izemon, so that if you mill this, you can do more mills if you mill this. So that's 6 mills, which is pretty good. But since I'm not running that, these are both not being played. If you want to, decrease your consistency for more firepower, you can potentially get rid of some of your level 3s or options. So I'm running 13 options right now, or 13 7-cost options right now. You can cut this out by 1 and play one more Beelzemon if you want, or another burst mode, so you can have a little bit more removal. Because keep in mind, you can always Digivolve on top of your Beelzemon with your blast mode to get that removal anyway, but it's 6 cost, so it's kind of expensive, but it's up to you guys if you want to do that. But that's pretty much it for this deck, guys. It's a really fun deck to play. It's not as good as those yellow security control decks because this deck doesn't have any recovery, but nonetheless, it's still a super fun deck to play. And if it pops off, it really pops off, and your opponents just can't really do much. But if you brick and you can't get any level 3s or 4s for some reason, if your hand's just clogged full of options, then you can just scoop and go to the next game. But sometimes if you can hard cast your options, it might help you a bit, but most likely not, it's not gonna work. But it is a fun deck, and I have seen some success with it against a lot of some of the more meta decks out there right now. Sometimes. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck, guys. If you guys want to support the channel, feel free to use the affiliate links down below. And stay tuned for more Digimon content next week. I'll be doing some BT9 openings, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be opening a full case. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck build, guys. If you guys want to like and subscribe, I won't stop you guys. But yeah, this is Kartaku, and I'll see you guys next time.